Change management at Global Green Books Publishing. Introduction. The case study involving Global Green Books Publishing is a practical example of a business entity undergoing challenges that necessitate management changes. Global Green Books has a cost management problem that has arisen from a project whereby a valued client keeps requesting changes that add costs to the project. Different stakeholders in the project have growing concerns about the changing scope due to these requests. One problem is for the satisfaction of the customer as aired by the school's account manager. Additional costs arise from the need for new permissions, sales commission, money wasted on unused licenses. Furthermore, extra time is needed for new changes, as noted by both the publisher liaison and the supervisor. Changes in the management at Global Green Books Publishing are urgently needed to address the issues identified in this project that may recur in the future, otherwise, they will keep recurring and run down the business. Stakeholders in project. Identifying stakeholders in a project is an integral part of the process of making changes to project management for optimal results. According to Bourne, a stakeholder is any entity, be they a person, organization, or group of persons, which would be affected by the outcome of a project in which they are involved. In the current case study, stakeholders include all persons and organizations that have vested interest in the ongoing ebook customization project. The stakeholders involved in this case study include the college, Global Green Books Publishing Company, publisher's liaison, senior professor, supervisor, customer service representative, suppliers, staff, creditors, the account manager for the school account, and students. Key stakeholders are ones who carry the risk of causing the project to fail. In the Green Books Publishing Company's case study, they include the senior professor Global Green Books Publishing Company, the project supervisor, employees involved in the project, and suppliers. Impact of requested changes on budget. The senior professor made a series of continuous requests for changes in the project, all of which impact the ebook customization budget. One of the impacts of the requested changes is likely budget alleviation. Soon the amount of money available to run the project will be less than what is needed for its completion. This is likely to result from cost overrun where additional costs keep piling up. Examples of additional costs include extra costs for obtaining new permissions, expenditure on extra working hours for publisher liaison, and losses from previously obtained but unused permissions. Extra printing costs are also incurred as new requests for changes are made by the senior professor. Essentially, the changes would result in increased use of resources, administrative costs, and the time leading to financial strain on the budget. Requests' impact on schedule. The requested changes could impact the schedule because additional time is needed with every new request made on top of the original time schedule. Schedule alleviation will result from additional requests for changes. The changes requested will necessitate extra working hours, and a delay in the delivery of the final ebook to the customer is a likely outcome. Publisher's liaison will need to spend more time obtaining new permissions. More time is also required in effecting the new changes that keep coming in as the deadline for the delivery of the final customized ebook approaches. The case study also cites instances of delays as the publisher spends extra time on consultations for permissions with the senior professor. Global Green Books process for dealing with changes from their customers and associated issues. The publishing company in question has a customer service representative who deals with requests and communicates the customer's concerns to key stakeholders. For example, the representative, in this case, brought the multiple requests issue to the attention of the account manager, the supervisor managing the project, and publisher's liaison. However, the publisher lacks a well-defined process of dealing with requests for changes from customers seeking ebook customization services. They do not have a well-documented process that would help streamline communication with customers during requests. They also lack effective coordination, as illustrated by the supervisor's concern of the spiraling cost of the project due to an overwhelming number of requests for changes from the senior professor. They also do not show an assertive approach to dealing with additional customer requests beyond the predetermined scope of the project. Recommendations for handling changes at Global Green Books Publishing and parties to be involved. The publishing company needs to resolve the issue by formulating a well-defined process of dealing with changes, else the project will fail. They should involve key stakeholders in a joint meeting with the senior professor, who is the customer in this particular case. The supervisor, publisher's liaison, customer service representative, and other relevant persons involved in the publication process should attend the meeting. In the discussion, they should engage in strong communication practices with both the team and customer to discuss challenges presented by the overwhelming requests for changes from the senior professor. They should consult a new and realistic budget for the project and set an achievable deadline to accommodate the necessary changes. In the new budget, they should discuss all the details and ensure clarity. For example, the costs involved in the project should be well documented, and it should be clear what costs are covered under the client's budget and what ones are to be covered by Global Green Books Publishing Company. They should also make the professor aware of the financial consequences of costs incurred from extra requests for additional permissions to avoid unnecessary change requests and only put in unavoidable change requests. Suppose they make the necessary changes after formulating a plan based on guidelines agreed upon in the meeting. In that case, they should succeed in delivering satisfactory customized ebook copies to the senior professor on time and within budget. Conclusion: resolving a conflict of interests between bookstore manager and professor. The bookstore manager wants inexpensive books, while the professor wants the best in quality and up-to-date ebook materials. The latter may cost more money while the former would be lacking to some degree in content relevance. The best course of action to resolve the conflict would be to call a stakeholder meeting and include both the bookstore manager and the senior professor. They should table a discussion whereby the Global Green Publishing Company sensitizes both parties of challenges posed by the project with the aim of arriving at a compromise for optimized results that favor both parties. They should all reach an agreement on viable solutions that would resolve their conflict in an amicable manner. They should also update all shareholders involved in the project so that they can steer the project in the direction agreed upon in the meeting.